Okay, for this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do some heat manipulation with your fabric, in particular 3D Shibori. So the most important thing for this one is that you have fabric which has got a thermoplastic nature. So things like organza and polyester are the best options for this, 100% polyester. Anything that's lightweight and not natural basically. So you can experiment with what. You also need some thread and then whatever it is that you want to tie in to make a shape. So you can use things like beer bottle tops, little marbles or gems, coins. You could use hairpins, nails, whatever you've got that will produce the shape that you'd like to have. So to start off with, I'll take some of these and a bit of thread. I'll place it into my fabric, gather it around. I'll then twist it just to hold it in place while I tie it on with my thread. So obviously the most important thing here is to make sure that whatever you choose to use to tie in is safe to be either boiled or steamed in a safe way. So obviously things like glass or plastic, anything that will melt with that heat would be a concern. So you need to think about that when you're choosing whatever it is you're going to make. So I'm just going to do a double knot there. Doesn't matter how messy it is. It's easiest if you just work with the one thread, because when it's time to take it all out, that's going to make it the easiest for you, the least time consuming to get it all undone. So now you need to boil some water on the stovetop, or you can use a vegetable steamer, and you need to put your fabric into the pot. Obviously the size of the pot needs to depend on the size or the amount of fabric that you're trying to do. So once it comes to a boil, that simply goes in there. Make sure it's completely covered, and it's going to stay in there for anywhere from about 20 to 30 minutes depending on the amount of fabric that you're doing. And we're going to lay them out in the sun to dry. We're going to make sure that we leave them tied up with all of the little bits inside while they dry, and then we'll take them out afterwards. So they've been left outside to dry, and now it's time to cut them open and have a look at how they've turned out. So I'm just going to start snipping the thread that holds it all together and undoing. So you can see what the result looks like. We've got a couple of different shapes here based on the different items that we used. The fabric is definitely holding the shape or the form, and when we stretch it out, it actually springs straight back into shape and holds it really well. So that is a successful little experiment. And of course the bubble one, so that's from the coins, you get that kind of flat top on them, and this one from these little gems as well. Again, the same kind of result. They just reappear, bounce back. The thing to notice, of course, is that your piece of fabric will shrink once you do this. So it's important to do an experiment if you do plan to use it in a project where you might require pattern pieces of a certain size, and compensate for that shrinkage that will happen as well.